Sunday morning, back out on the mighty BMW GS for another adventure. Another thought from the bike, but a bit more than that. I'm off to the Piston Club in Stratford-upon-Avon this morning, so get some footage from there and a bit more chat around being a headhunter in the automotive and motorsport space. But first of all, thought of the day is just a recommendation really to watch a podcast as we sit behind this lovely Vanquish S. Is to watch a podcast called The Road to Success with Benedict Fowler. The series is amazing. I think some of the guests are incredible, but the one I was talking about here is one with a chap called Kevin Gaskell, who was the ex-CEO of Porsche GB back in the, I'm pretty sure it was early to mid 90s, and he was instrumental in the transformation of the business, as it was in really challenging times and really struggling with its identity. And I particularly like when he was talking about the club sport and the introduction of the club sport and how that came about. Definitely have a watch for that. That's really interesting for you petrol heads out there. And then, apologies if I'm shouting, it's pretty windy out there for some reason this morning. Anyway, yeah, but the second thing, he got onto leadership, and what really resonated with me was he was talking about understanding the people in the business from ground up. Now, that's pretty basic, but I think it's implemented few and far between. It's very easy to talk about, but actually to implement that and really truly be engaged with you can't with everyone in the business clearly, but from the ground up, that's what it's about. It's about from ground up that you understand what people are thinking, because you've got to remember that people are in different roles throughout the business from the ground up, and they'll have different ideas, different thoughts, and if you can have a handle on that, then that is going to help in the boardroom. That's going to help when you're with your SLT, because trying to make decisions with only an understanding from the top, it doesn't work. You need that overall understanding of the business and how it's actually operating, not how you think it's operating, but how it is actually operating. So that was, whether it's a business, organisation or a team, it's exactly the same principle. And honestly, I think that is lacking in a lot of businesses. The amount of leaders that we talk to, and it got me thinking that actually that is something that doesn't get talked about enough. So anyway, there we go, thought of the day. I like the thirsty number plate on the Vanquish S. You can see that. I think got to be involved with drinks, surely. I'm going to say CEO of a drinks business. That's my guess. This bike eats up the miles so quickly. And I don't mean by speeding, but it's just so effortless. Before you go, is there something I could have said to make your heart beat better? I was just thinking about the world of headhunting and a few things that I wanted to discuss. So first one is candidates looking for a new opportunity, or even not necessarily looking for a new opportunity but have taken a call from a headhunter, have engaged and say they're keen to find out more about the opportunity. And now I've got Siri going off in my helmet. No, don't need to call anyone. I've already called someone whilst talking on the bike earlier on. Luckily they were in Spain, so they're an hour ahead, so I didn't wake them up too early on a Sunday morning. But anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, if a candidate is engaged with a headhunter about a new opportunity, and I'm talking about relatively senior people here, but actually it applies all the way back to when I was recruiting more junior salespeople in the automotive world, and that is the reticence to, or the seeming reticence to, not look for a job, or as I say, not even look for a job, but continue the engagement with a headhunter in their own time, still amazes me. So what I mean by that is they seem to only want to communicate with you within working hours, so effectively on their current employer's time. Now you could argue that the way flexibility, or where there is flexibility around how people work, that maybe that isn't the case and they're on some flexi time maybe, but what I mean is that let's just take it in more general terms. So let's just say that the normal working pattern is, let's say, 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. Well, what surprises me, and I still struggle to get my head round, is that the majority will want to talk, or will only communicate between those kind of times, 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, when I have always made it clear that I am, just the way I operate, available from say 7 until 10 o'clock maybe, 7 days a week. Because, and now it's trying to ring someone else. Come on Siri, sort yourself out. Anyway, yeah, where was I? So yeah, just want to communicate between those times, even though they're told that I can be available pretty much at any point. And I don't know what it is, it's very, very strange, but it's very few. Actually, motorsport is, I have found motorsport is different actually, but I think that's kind of out on its own in terms of how that operates, because that world is kind of full of passion, and people pretty much, that's their life. Like motorsport does tend to take over people's lives. I'm not entirely sure there's huge amounts of work-life balance in motorsport, but so I would actually say that's probably an anomaly. And actually, more recently, the amount of people that I've had from the motorsport world who are quite happy to talk on their holiday is definitely different to the automotive world that I'm used to. So yeah, anyway, it just appears to me that candidates would want to talk on their current employer's time rather than in their own time, in the evenings or the weekends when that is offered to them. Anyway, it'd be interesting to get your thoughts on that. Is that, I don't know, is that something that you think is right? Have you seen that? If you're another headhunter, if you're a candidate, I'd love to get your opinion too. And I guess from a leadership point of view as well. Oh no, let's not get into that world around how people operate outside of normal hours. That's a bit of a rabbit hole. Let's not go there. We'll do that another time. Anyway, there we go. Communication. Do or should candidates be talking to headhunters in their own time, or I guess as a leader are you perfectly happy for them to be looking during their own time? I suppose it is one of those, isn't it? If you are an employee that's kind of 9 to 5, then really those conversations shouldn't be happening during those hours, although I suppose lunch breaks etc, if that's the thing. But crikey, it sounded like a dinosaur now. Or should that communication happen outside of normal working hours? Anyway, there we go. Rambled on long enough about that now. Right, let's push on and get to the Piston Club. Talk to you in a bit. I just remembered, I think it was this road that saw a dog get run over. That was pretty sad. I think that sounded a bit disingenuous, but actually it was sad. More empathy, Mark, more empathy. Sound more empathetic. Even if you're not feeling it, sound like it. Emotion, show some emotion. Quick tip whilst I think about it, if anyone's looking at new sunglasses and is tempted by polarized sunglasses, just be careful. I got some the other day and within about 3 hours took them back. Very strange. Seems to give you a very strange view on the world and almost an instant headache. Anyway, there we go. Might be a completely useless tip, but it might also help someone else, so you never know. The battery's not working on the helmet GoPro.